My last at bat in college baseball was a hit in Omaha off a big leaguer. My wife and I first met in middle school. We actually started dating in middle school a long, long time ago. Dated all throughout middle school and then all throughout high school. Took a little bit of a break in college and then got back together in college and have been together ever since. But she played collegiately at Notre Dame, finished her career at Oregon. Was able to play in a Final Four, played with some really good teams, played with some great players like Sabrina Ionescu and Satu Sabali and some really good other players that I'm forgetting for sure. But she was also a high school national Gatorade Player of the Year. Much more athletic than I am. She has a very athletic family. Her brother Cutter was a starting quarterback at the University of Kentucky this past year and transferred to Arizona State and will be the quarterback there this year. Other brother Jackson played football at Wyoming. Her dad played basketball at Western Kentucky. Super athletic family. And we have a little girl that's 5 months old, and I just hope that she gets the athleticism from that side of the family.
What made you go right into coach? You went right from player to GA. Where was that kind of self-awareness moment that when I'm done with this, I want to go coach young men?
Yeah, great question. My first 3 years at Louisville were very injury plagued, I would probably say. A lot of adversity going up and down, just trouble staying healthy. And I had a realization moment that I probably wasn't going to play professionally. That was still the goal. Wanted to do it really bad, so bad I could taste it. And just realized that that probably wasn't in my cards. So I was like, what do I want to do? And I was blessed to be around a really good coaching staff in college that not only helped me grow as a baseball player, but as a person as well. And they impacted my life on a really high level. And I was like, man, I want to do this. This is what I want to do. I want to be like these coaches that I played for. And I had a talk with my head coach, Dan McDonald. And I said, I want to do this. How do I go about it? And he said, well, if you get a chance to go play professionally, go play. If not, come back, get your master's degree, and be my graduate assistant, and get your feet wet into coaching and see if you like it. If you like it, stay in it. If you don't, then you have a master's degree to go about and do whatever you want to do. So I got my feet wet, which was the COVID year in 2020. So I got a whole fall of coaching, and then I got about a month and a half of the season. And I had a blast. I was like, this is definitely the profession I want to go down, and I'm glad I never waffled off of it.
Having gotten to coach some high draft picks early in your run, how has that translated to Kent and kind of helping guide some of these kids you're coaching now that have a really good chance to go play at that level and have those kind of draft picks?
Well, I've been very lucky to have been in three really good programs through my time in college as a player, as a coach. Louisville, good program, a lot of history of developing professional players and getting players into the MLB. Georgia Tech, same thing, a really, really rich tradition of getting players into professional baseball and onto the MLB. And then Kent State, Kent State, we got a great history of getting guys into professional baseball, just a really rich history of getting guys developed and then getting them ready for the professional world. And, 140 draft pick signees in program history, 29 big leaguers in program history. So I've been fortunate to have been around a lot of big leaguers and a lot of guys that have gone on to play professional baseball. So realistically, it's what I've been around, so I've known in college. So basically just how you go about your business. And it also helps when you have two big leaguers on the staff, and Jeff Duncan and Mike Birkbeck, who both lived being a big leaguer for a good amount of their career and played professionally for a really long time. But it's also the guys that came through here before I got here, even Coach Berkey and Coach Dunk. This program is just built on professional players, getting guys into professional baseball. So it's not so much about what I know and what I've experienced. It's more so about trying to keep this place rolling because it's always been rolling even before I got here.
If you'd waited your turn, you could easily be in a similar role at a Power Four. What
Yep.
made you want to be at Kent and be a part of this special culture?
I want to be a head coach one day. And, unfortunately, in this profession, your title means a lot when it comes to, search firms and athletic departments and athletic directors. They want to see what titles you held. And I was just a catching coach at Georgia Tech, and I loved my time at Georgia Tech. But Ramsey was the recruiting coordinator, hitting coach, associate head coach, and Coach Hall didn't seem like he was retiring anytime soon. So I knew I wanted to look for more responsibility and take my coaching career to the next step as I was ready to work with hitters and be a recruiting coordinator and help build a roster and things of that nature. And once Jeff reached out and asked if I had interest, I was like, hell yeah, like let's do it. I will say this though, my biggest holdup on the whole thing is when Jeff reached out was what's the area like to live in? Because we stayed in Akron when we played with Georgia Tech up here at Kent. So my perception of Kent was Akron. And I was like, oh, I don't know. Like, I really want to come be a part of this program, but I don't know if I could live in that area. And then Jeff shows me the area, and I'm like, oh my God, this place is beautiful. And my wife and I have loved it. And, it's been a blessing. And I'm very grateful and fortunate to be a part of this program. But no means at all. It was easy to leave GT. GT is an awesome place, and it's awesome to see them have as much success as they're having this year. As a lot of those guys, I was able to coach them as freshmen.
Throughout all your experience playing college baseball, what do you think the top lesson or few lessons that you've imparted on these kids now, kind of getting to look back on your journey? Because one of the really exciting things about rising up the coaching ranks as fast as you have is this journey is pretty recent for you. So you're able to pretty quickly apply what you learned in your journey and now bring it to these kids.
Yeah, I think there's a few things that I think about when you ask that question. One is the game can humble you very fast. You're never really as good as you think you are. And once you think you're at the top and you're rolling, the game's going to humble you. But it's not about getting too high. It's not about getting too low. You just got to stay neutral, right? You got to keep on chucking. And one thing that we talk about here a lot is, just being true to the process. You don't want to get to the finish line too fast. You want to just take it one day at a time. I had a lot of injuries in my career, and I went into Louisville, thinking I was the real deal, thinking I was a stud. And then I get there and I see Will Smith at 21 years old, who's now probably the best catcher in Major League Baseball. And I'm like, holy crap, maybe I'm not as good as I think I am. But, like I said, the game humbles you. And then, being having as many injuries as I had and not having much success until my senior year, it puts a lot of things into perspective. It makes you enjoy the game more. As you're more thoughtful of your teammates, you're more respectful to the game. And I don't think I would be the coach or the person or the dad or the husband that I am if I didn't have the adversity that I had as a player. So I think that helps me be the coach that I am, as I'm able to relate to the players when they're not having their best day. Because I've been there, I've been there more times than they have, unfortunately. So I've been able to, work through it and finish my career at the highest level you can finish as a college baseball player. I think my last at bat in college baseball was a hit in Omaha off a big leaguer. So, I've been at the highest level you could be at, and then I've been at the lowest level you could be at, making errors in a regional game on ESPN looking bad. So that kind of puts things into perspective. And as I'm able to relate to these guys, like, it's going to be all right. You're going to make it through this. You're going to be a better player, a better person, and it's going to be fine at the end of the day.